Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing the alternative carousel for Products Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed it yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package, and you also have access to a PDF with instructions. So to get started, head over to your theme editor, navigate to the page you want to add the section to. Over on the left, click on Add Section and search for the section. Okay. Now, over on the left, we have the section. Clicking on that, we have, as you probably know, all the section settings on the right, and we have blocks. We have two different blocks that you can add, either a collection or a product. So if starting easily, you can click on the collection, and then over here, just simply select the collection that you want, and then it appears. Now, if you want to put in individual products and not all products from a certain collection, then you can just click on Product, select a product that you'd like, and then here you have an option to the image source, either the product image, which is most probably what you want, or if you want a custom image, you can add one here as well. And same goes with the title. If you want a different title than the actual product title, then you can add that here, click on custom and add that here, and you'll have the product title that you want. And so if you're using products, then here you can add in as many as you want. That way it gives you the flexibility of choosing specific products that you want to appear here instead of just a collection. But let's just concentrate on the collection. So I'll just delete this one, I'll unhide this one, and we're getting that, all products from that specific collection. So let's go to all of the settings. Now it's this section is basically built off of the alternative carousel, where in the alternative carousel one, the regular one, there you can put in all sorts of links. So you could put in a product, or you could put in a link to a blog, or basically any type of image or whatever you'd like. Here it makes it easier where you could just throw in a collection. So over here we have section title. So you can give a section title right over here. Say our skincare products, like that. And when you highlight this, you can set the type of text, whether it's an H1, H2, and so on. Next, you have section text, which is the text down here. Explore all of our organic and high quality products we have to offer. Just like that. So before we continue with carousel settings, I want to go back here because I forgot to mention that the collection products amount, back when you're selecting the collection, you can set how many products from the collection to display. So let's say we choose 10. You can do all the way up to 32. So we'll just keep this at 10 right now. Now we go back to the settings here. And as you can see, once we have 10, we have the carousel running properly. Now, slides to show. That's how many slides we want to show at the same time. So right now it's set at 4. Obviously we can do 3, we can do 5, however many you'd like. Let's just keep it at 4 for now. And then on slides to show on mobile version, we limit it to either 1 or 2. So showing 1, we'll show it this way. Showing 2, we'll show it this way. We usually like to keep it at 1. Kind of looks nicer. It gives more space for the text to appear here, especially if you have longer text and so on. Next, We have autoplay carousel slides, so you can have it autoplay and auto transition, and you can set the speed, how often you want the slides to show automatically or to advance. Just keep that off for now so it doesn't bother us. Space between the slides, so we can make that 0 so they're touching. We can make it really small, just like that. We can make it really big, however many you'd like. Let's just keep it at 10 for now. Next, we have the arrows. So you can set up the color of the arrows. So you can choose the background color, and then the arrow itself, something like that, for instance, or let's make this dark so it kind of looks the same. And you can also choose where you'd like to place the arrow. So right now it's either left, you can choose to put it to the right, or below the title, which is right over here. So let's just keep that there for now. And if you don't like the style of the default arrows, you can upload your own arrow for the left and the right. Moving on, section background color. So you can set up a section background color like that. So let's just add this light gray color right over here. Now you have an option for section width, which is regular. And if you control the width here, you can see that it becomes smaller. So you can align that with other sections on your site or make it just small, just because that fits the style. You can have 4 here, and then you can lower this to something like that if you'd like. There's various options that you can do here. Or if you choose full width, then as you can see, the background color extends to the very edge. The carousel extends to the very edge, so it looks like the image, that there's more images. It kind of hints that there's additional images in the carousel itself. But you could still control the content max width, which basically aligns the title. If you want to align the title, let's say to the rest of your sections, or so on. So you could just move that over, this way, and have that align. Next, we have margins and padding for the section itself. So margin is the space outside of the section. So if you want more space from a section that's located above it, you could just give more space like that. And below, you can just add more space below, just like so. Padding is the space within. So if you want more padding within, more spacing, you can increase that just like that. And then same goes for the area underneath. And horizontal padding isn't as relevant when we're in full screen. When we're in regular width, then you'll see that there's more padding on the sides here. But let's keep it full width. This is usually the more recommended or the more popular way of using this section. We also have the same margins and padding for mobile. So if we go into the mobile version, then we can set this up here. Sometimes there's this little glitch, but once you update a setting, then everything aligns correctly. As you see, I'm adjusting the horizontal padding here, but usually it'd probably be nicest to have it at 0, so that it kind of bleeds out to the edges of the browser. And then we have top padding, bottom padding, and margins as well, just like shown previously. Moving on, section header styling. So section header is this area right over here. So we can add more padding if we want this to be more centered, a little bit more below, for instance. The bottom padding isn't as relevant. Well, actually, it does push the arrows down a little bit more if you want that. And then we have left and right. So left in this case isn't so important unless we're doing, unless you have a bigger content max width, sorry, small, yeah, bigger, like that. Lower this horizontal padding, and you can see that we can adjust that so that it doesn't touch the edges, like that. Moving on, right padding will give more space right over here. So we can add that in, and then you have more space here. And obviously if the text is long or it's a long word, then it'll go down to the next line. And we have those same settings for the mobile version as well, which, to remind you, it's this area here. So as you can see, this is bleeding out too much. So we wanted to add some left and right padding, keeping this the same value so that it's centered properly. And then we can add more padding space here and here, if we'd like, with these two settings. Next, we can set the background color, or sorry, the section title color. So if we want, purple color, like that, we can set up the custom font. So if you want a different font, you can click that here and then select a font from the list. And if you have a manually installed font that's not in this list, then you can grab the declaration from the CSS. It's a little bit more advanced usage, but you can grab that from the CSS and then place it right into here, and it'll use that as well. Next, we can set the font weight. So if you want you want it more bold, or you want regular, that's an option. Let's just change this font a little bit to maybe this one. There we go. You can set the alignment to left, center, or right. Section title, margin top. We can add some more margin here. So that's basically like the padding in the section header padding. So it's just another way to give some more space there if you want. Margin bottom, so that'll give some more space between that and the text. Font size, if you want a bigger font size, like that. Line height, you can adjust the line height to suit your brand typography. And letter spacing as well. And we have the same settings for mobile if you want those settings to be different. For instance, in mobile, because this is centered already, then we have default center, but if you want it left aligned, that's fine, it's left aligned. In a minute, we have the options for this area as well. But let's say we want the font size to be a little bit bigger, just like that. Let's say the alignment, the padding here is a little bit too big. Let's see if we can get this in one line, if possible. No. So it's a little bit of play of the font sizes and all that. Moving on, text area. So it's the same settings just for the title, but same settings that we have for the text area. So you can change that, or you could use the default color and just not add in a color at all. Custom font, font weight, alignment, like I mentioned. And then we also have margin top, bottom, font size, line height, and letter spacing for that. But no need to change that for now. And same thing for mobile. Moving on, image sizes. So we have 3 different options for the image sizes. We can do original, which basically pulls in the original size of the image. Or the original proportions. So here, these images are already square. Those are the images that I uploaded via the admin to the product page. But as you can see here, we have some portrait, or we have a landscape image. So here just brings it in. It keeps the same width in all of them. but the height is different based on the image. So if you have different sizes, you can use that, and it'll give you this kind of jagged look if you'd like it to appear that way. Or you can choose that all of them will be square, and then it will crop the images accordingly. Or you can do portrait, and all of them will be cropped accordingly. So sometimes it depends on the image if you want it to be cropped like this or not. But let's just keep this now on square. You can also, within this, you can make the image width smaller. Usually you probably wouldn't want to, but that's an option that you have. Border radius, so you can add in radiuses to the image itself, like that. Now block styling. So block styling is each of these slides. So you have text alignment, so we can choose to have everything center aligned. And same thing for mobile, if you want center aligned or left aligned or right aligned. Margin top, so you can add more margins here, so it basically pushes this if you want it to align better with the header. It might not be necessary, but you have that option. Same thing for the mobile version, and we also have margin bottom, which is a space below. You can see that pushes that down, and for mobile as well. Next, block title styling. So we have an option to hide the title if you're interested in hiding it, but usually you'd probably want that on, and then you can select HTML element. So H3, H2, we recommend H3 in this case because H2s are usually best for section titles, and H1 is best for page titles. And then that way it also inherits the styling from your theme, so you don't have to go in and change colors or anything like that. But if you want to change colors, you can definitely do that, or change the font. I believe we chose this font before, like so. Let's see if we can do that, make that bold. And also, if it doesn't have bold loading in, then you'd have to go back here and select bold, and now you can see that the bold is really bold. We have margin top, so if you want more space there, you can add some more space. Margin bottom will give you more space between that and the price. Font size, like that. Let's lower this a little bit. All right. And then we also have line height and letter spacing. So line height, when it's one line, it's not relevant. Let's see if we have another one here. We don't right now, but you might want to adjust it if you have text that's overflowing. And we have the same settings for mobile version. Next, if you want to show the product price, you can, or you can hide it. From price, this means that if there's you have multiple variants and you have different prices for each variant, so you can choose to show the from, or you could just keep it out and it'll show you the lowest price that's available. And you can edit that, so you can if you want it to be starting at, or whatever. Oops. And you can adjust the font, the price color. Let's say you want it a little bit more light gray. You can set up the font. All this you're familiar with, the same settings, and then you have font size, line height, letter spacing, and margin bottom if you want more space from the button. And mobile version settings as well. So product compare at pricing. So if a product is on sale, I don't know if I have this option available to show you, but if you have a product on sale, then you can choose to have the strike through, and then the compare at price will display, and then you can set its color and its font size and for desktop and mobile. Next, you can also choose to show the button, the Shop Now button, or not, and you can add the label. You can choose to have it open in a new tab. You probably wouldn't want to, but you have the option to do so. Then you have option to choose the font like we've done before. Now you can set the width. So depending on the length of the text, you can do, if you make it much longer, then the button obviously will go to the maximum width that way. Or you can, if you want a smaller button like that. Let's make this, yeah, okay. Next, we have border width. I'll make a border here of 1 pixel. We don't really see that yet. Also, when we choose colors, you'll be able to see that. Then we want the radius. So let's say we want a round button like that. You can go all the way and it'll be pill-shaped. Let's just keep small corners like that. Then you also have top margin here, so you can push that a little bit more. Bottom margin, not as relevant, but you could do that, which will give more space below. Horizontal padding inside. So this is kind of playing or adjusting between the length of the text and the maximum width. So if we lower this down, you can see it goes down to 1 line. And then we can add some more horizontal padding. Sorry, reduce the horizontal padding. See, it's not even enough, so you can just play around and it'll be like that. And then if you increase the horizontal padding, then it goes down to 2 lines, then you have to play with this. So it's kind of like playing around with it to get the right spacing that you require for your brand. Let's keep it like that. Let's add in a little bit more border areas. There we go. And vertical padding, if you want more space up above and below the text itself. Let's just keep it like that. And we have top and bottom margin for mobile as well. Now font size, let's make this font size just a little bit smaller, like so. Letter spacing, let's add a pixel there. We have font size and letter spacing for mobile. And lastly, we have the colors. So let's say we want the background color of this button to be this purple. We want the text to be white, and we want the border color, let's say, to be purple as well. Now we have the hover option. So on the hover, let's say we want the hover to be blank or transparent, the text to be purple, and the border color to be purple. And so when you hover, then you get that look. And then you can see the border. Or if you want to make the border thicker, you can do something like that. Sorry, that's a little bit too thick. Like so. Or of course you can swap these around where it's where you have a border. This is the regular, and then the hover will actually be filled. So you can play around with that as well. But that's it. Those are all the settings for this section. I hope that this really helps you increase your sales on your site. If you have any issues or any problems, difficulties, don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page on our website. That's it. Take care.